Are you happy with the students that you take into your studio? We all make mistakes sometimes and don't foresee a problem student. Do you have a way of easing a student out if it's just not working out? I have some tips for you. Today, I want to talk about taking the student that will work for your studio. One of the things that I have found tremendously helpful is to require an interview before I decide. I'm talking to the parent on the phone. They've called, are you taking students? I explain to them my philosophy, send them to my website, hildaryan.com, to read my philosophy again. Then ask them to come to my studio for a no cost, no obligation interview. At that time, I hand them a copy of my policies and read them through with them. I send them to the other room to fill out an information sheet while I hear the student play prepared pieces, sight read, and I ask them questions about theory and proficiency skills and some other things like, what is your interest level in piano lessons? I have a couple of forms that I developed for myself and decided might be helpful to teachers, and so they are published in this book here. I have here's the first phone call. What do you need to write down when you get a phone call? I keep this by the phone. Here's the interview sheet that I'm filling out with questions about skills and theory background, and my decision as to what the reading level is, as well as the question about how many years of lessons they had, who they studied with, what their favorite style is, and what their interest level is in, and also usable books that they bring, because I asked them to bring a big stack of books. Then I had the parent filling out this information sheet. This is all in instant organization for your piano studio, available on Amazon as a book or Kindle, available on Top Music Marketplace as a book, or a PDF download, which would make it real easy to just make copies. And you're free to make copies all for the rest of your teaching career. And it also includes the policies that I've used for years. That you can take and change and adapt, but it'll be something that you might just want to have a look at. So that's what I do to interview. Now, when the student is finished with the interview and I bring the parent back in again, I make some positive comments about what I heard. I'm making notes, filling out that form, writing down what their strengths and weaknesses are. But I point out the strengths to the student and to the parent and thank them for coming and tell them I will be in touch with them in the next day or two. You know, I know you need to go home and talk together about whether you think this will work, and I need to do some thinking too. Now, there are times when I will just flat out make an offer. If I can tell the student's going to be really a hard worker, and the parent also is going to be supportive, then I will just offer. But I don't make that promise, so they don't come in expecting that. Now, if the student doesn't look like it's going to be a student, somebody that I want to take, that they're not really interested, then I will get back to them and use a phrase that my friend Pamela Mullins introduced me to several years ago. It served me well on so many fronts. I don't believe it's going to be a good fit for my studio. I don't believe it's going to be a good fit for my studio. That is a gem of a phrase, and it really works well. Pamela, has told me that she is as interested in the parents' supportive role as she is how well the students play. So do some thinking, give yourself some time, consider having an interview. Next week we'll talk about what to do if you get one of those if you let in a student who doesn't work. How do you ease them out of your studio? So that'll be next week.